CNBC TV 18 Weekender.
Welcome back to the CNBC TV 18 Weekender. We are in conversation with Ajay and Sanjeev Kumar Bijli of the PVR Cinemas. Ajay, now clearly your family was not in movie business, something that you started this interview with. They were in transport business. And then I think there was an incident also where, where after the death of your father, there was a fire that ravaged a lot of your property. Just tell us a little bit about that.
Obviously, the biggest, sort of negative episode that can happen in anybody's life is to lose your one of your parents. So when dad passed away in '92, that was a huge setback. But prior to that, as I said, I mean, kids should be given an opportunity to, do what they want to. So they gave me that freedom. We were privileged to get that. So I ran the Priya Cinema single screen from '90 to '92, and then when dad passed away, I had to go back to the trucking business, and so the cinema took a big back seat because there was nobody looking after the trucking business. But I was, supposed to be looking after the trucking business because that was the main business of the family. But then, 92 to 94, when I was doing both the things. Then 94, this other episode happened, which was when the fire took place, and then we lost a lot of money. And that's the time when Sanjeev and I again regrouped and met our mother and spoke to her that this is getting too hard. It's too uphill a task to try to run the trucking business as well. And our passion and our, heart and soul really lies in this cinema business. And we really, find it that there is a scope to take it to another level. And then she was in a very simplistic way, she said, fine, whatever you feel like doing is what you should do. And I think she's been absolutely instrumental in our journey throughout, in giving us that freedom and guidance and the mentoring role to make sure that we've been doing what we wanted to do. So 94 onwards, then we just focused only on on the cinema business. And the trucking business, I was fortunate I have some cousins who were passionate about the trucking business. So they're looking at that now.
Sanjeev, as the younger brother, tell us something about your older brother that we don't know.
Then I'll have to go.
You're going to say this in front of everyone, millions of viewers. Like, how's the relationship like? I mean, does he, as kids, did he boss you around? What was he like?
Actually, I think even growing up, he was very quick to adapt to change. So which has actually been a driving force at PVR as well. I mean, some of us keep wondering if we should take the next step, and he's already taken the next step. Like I remember when we had this enviable LP collection when we were young, growing up, and suddenly CDs came to the market, and I was actually holding on to my LP collection with dear life. I'm like, no, we can't let this go waste because we literally had a room full of it.
Right.
And I thought it was like a huge waste to And he was like very quick. He says, no, the future is CDs. So I think even at work, that's how it is. At work also is.
So how do you guys divide the responsibilities essentially?
That's to me. You see, what is very important is that you should create a lot of room for each other. And I think we, as the organization grew, and the scale became pan-India, we realized that the core philosophies of Sanjeev and I are pretty much the same. And actually, he's the pragmatic one. He's the creative one and the pragmatic one. And he ensures that I don't get carried away. So that's at one level we were balancing each other, our thoughts. And on the other side, we were also conscious that if we want to get that consistency in quality and be able to become a pan-India player, perhaps we should divide projects, divide cities. If 100 screens are under fit out at any given time, Sanjeev, is doing about 50-60, I'm doing about 30-40. So like that, we divided, and the core philosophies were the same.
Yeah, it's because especially at a time, when we see so much of sibling rivalry, and we've seen there's so many umpteen examples. you guys stick together. So clearly there's some core values that are common to both of you.
And I would also say again, I would go back to our parents. I mean, they've right from the beginning, we've been told that it's.
She still lectures me sometimes.
And without sounding too filmy, whether they're in filmy business, but blood is thicker than water, and there are more advantages of being together. Then
I think
than the other way around.
That's
as simple as that.
Basically, I think that's what I mean. That's as I said, there are more advantages because I mean, the disadvantages are huge in terms of health, stress. I mean, why? I mean, why do people even get into all that when there is always a solution? There's always a way. To work together.
And also just coming back to this professional thing, that obviously there are going to be differences. I mean, it's healthy, but we have a way to resolve it. And we also don't do it in public at all.
Also, we have a team. I think now we've evolved to a stage also where it's very professional.
We use them a lot.
And especially our core sort of team of CEO and CFO and all. And there's a board, very professionally run board also, and one of the main investors who's on our board, Renuka Ramnath, so we actually been from the beginning only of the habit of having a very board-driven company, because even when Village Roadshow was there, we had them as partners, and then private equity players came. So we talk to them a lot, if we feel that we're stuck somewhere. And then we have this core team. Again, the core chief, about 3 or 4 people, again, where we see somewhere it might be heading to an area which, is conflicting, then we have all these sounding boards. And we listen to them a lot, actually. I mean, they all are highly evolved professionals. They've been with us for about 15 years. And they're as passionate and as much of co-owners, literally, of the company as we are.
I mean, Sanjeev is right. We're privileged to have a great team. And if we do find little things that we need to figure out what the correct answer is, we'll just defer it to them. So what do you think, Gautam or Kamal or Nitin? We've got good people, Ashwini, Vijay, Mr. Gupta is there, who's our CS and legal head. Then as Sanjeev said, the board members are there. So we find a way to resolve and move ahead.
Let's slip into another break. We'll take this conversation now to the executive lounge when we return. Stay right there. In fact, Shekhar Kapoor, the very celebrated film director, also recently said that 90% of the people still go to the single screen theaters.
Where does Shekhar Kapoor go? First of all, I want to know
Precisely,
CNBC TV 18 Weekender.